Welcome to another Best Limitless Team video ahead of Matchday 3, and this could be a great time to use it. If you look at how the fixtures balance out between the Tuesday and the Wednesday, it's much better than in Matchday 2 or 5, and not only that, most of the big teams and assets have really good fixtures, so I have to say it's a great time to use the chip if you haven't already. And be sure to check out my chip strategy guide, which highlights different chip strategies for those of you that may not have done the typical Limitless in Matchday 2 and the wildcard in Matchday 3. So be sure to give this video a like as well. Let's get this video to over 300 likes and let's get to 15,000 subscribers. We're very close to that milestone, so thank you very much to everyone who's already subscribed to the channel, and let's just jump straight into this video. This is one of the easier picks on a Limitless. I would go for Thibaut Courtois and Manuel Neuer. Neuer's facing Pilsen at home, and you could even double up on Bayern Munich's defence this week, which is what we probably would do on the Limitless, and then Thibaut Courtois at home to Shakhtar Donetsk, who, to be fair, have been fairly decent, but Real Madrid have kept 2 clean sheets in 2 Champions League matches, and these are 2 of the best goalkeepers in general with high ceilings. Manuel Neuer can even get an assist, you never know. He can save penalties, and he's a really good shot stopper, and you know, even when Bayern Munich don't keep a clean sheet, you can see Neuer getting 3 to 4 points at least, but you've got Courtois in the back pocket to bring on, and he's also got a great chance of clean sheets there. So if I had to pick one goalkeeper this week, I probably would favour Manuel Neuer because of the fixture, but in the long term, Courtois is the better option, and you can have both for Matchday 3 on the Limitless. I will double up on Bayern Munich and Real Madrid defensively. Of course, you can't play both goalkeepers anyway, but you've got that in your back pocket, and I think both of them have a good chance of a clean sheet in Matchday 3. Alphonso Davies has a high ceiling. He can get ball recoveries. He's got the assist potential, and he's a fantastic option. If Lewandowski was still at Bayern Munich, then I would recommend going for him, Leroy Sané, and Manuel Neuer as your 3 Bayern Munich players. But because he's not there, and I don't have as much confidence in the likes of Mane and Müller, I would rather go for Davis, but it's completely up to you, and I don't think there's a right or wrong there, but I think this balance is even better. Carvajal has been fantastic this season for Real Madrid, and there's also Eder Militao, who's now back from injury. He played for Brazil. You could also go for him, and he's more likely to get ball recovery points and maybe more likely to get goals as well through set pieces. But Carvajal has the assist threat, and he's been great on the right-hand side. Then you've got Joao Cancelo. He speaks for himself. You could double up a Manchester City defence, but I would rather go for a double up in attack with, well, we're going to talk about them very soon, and you can guess who the options are going to be. But I would rather go for one City defender. In this case, I think they could score 3 or 4 goals past them, as well as getting the clean sheet. And Cancelo can easily get a 12-pointer. I wouldn't rule that out. Then you've got Hakimi, who's probably the defender I look at. He's the most likely to drop out of this Limitless team, and he didn't feature in Matchday 2 against Maccabi Haifa, so that was obviously a big disappointment, but also not that surprising, and let's wait and see what happens. I think Hakimi will start against Benfica. That should be a tough game as well, and I'm not that convinced about PSG clean sheet, but what I like about him is the attacking potential, and that's why he's in the team, but you could go for someone else. So let me know where you would go. You could go for Tsimikas, for example, in place for the injured Robertson, and double up on Liverpool defensively with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's facing Rangers, and I think Liverpool will keep a clean sheet here, and I can see some attacking returns potentially for the fullbacks, and especially Trent Alexander-Arnold. What I also like about Trent, despite him being so poor this season so far, is the ball recoveries. He can still get that, and if you add a clean sheet or an attacking return on top of it, you could easily see a big return of at least 6 points or above. So I really like Trent Alexander-Arnold as an UCL fantasy asset, despite him not being at the same level this season, but I think things will turn around for Liverpool, especially with Thiago returning to the squad, and I think Salah's another one who could also come really good. This is the exact same midfield as I had in my Limitless team for Matchday 2, but I'm a bit more confident about these players this time round. Heung-min Son has had an awful season, but he scored a hat-trick against Leicester from the bench, and he has scored in both games for South Korea during the international break, so something might have unlocked there during the last week or 2. So that is good news for Spurs fans, and also for Heung-min Son owners. I think he could do a great job here against Frankfurt away. Then you have Salah as well, who has also looked better. He, I think, scored in the international break, and not only that, he also scored against Ajax in the Champions League. So things have looked better for him with the arrival and return of Thiago. So I really like these 2 more so than I did at the beginning of this season. They have been very poor overall, but there are signs of improvement for both of them. Kevin De Bruyne has been fantastic all season, and he's facing Copenhagen, so I wouldn't be surprised of multiple assists for him, maybe even a goal, and his link up with Haaland is on another level. So I would highly recommend going for a double up in Manchester City attack. You could go for Foden or someone else, but if you're on the Limitless, why not just go for Kevin De Bruyne, who's a bit more nailed, and he also has a higher ceiling. And then we have Leroy Sané, who's a fantastic option no matter what you're doing this week. I would go for him at home to Pilsen. He's a fantastic option for the captaincy on the first day. And then you have another consistent option in Vinicius Jr., who's been fantastic as well all year, really, for Real Madrid and Brazil. And I like that fixture against Shakhtar Donetsk. I could see him doing a great job there as well. And this is a fantastic midfield. The midfielders you probably are least confident about are Heung-min Son and Salah, but Son is actually showing some fantastic form. He's the most informed midfielder, so to speak, in UCL Fantasy over the last week or so. And I think this is a great midfield. It's the exact same as I had, and it didn't really deliver that much for me in Matchday 2, but there's so much quality amongst all these players, and the fixtures are there for these players to really show what they're capable of. We've gone for the 3 highest scoring players in UCL Fantasy in the forward line, with Mbappe the highest scoring with 22 points, Lewandowski with 20, and Haaland in third place with 16. And they're 3 of the most expensive as well at 11.1 million. But they've got the fixtures. Haaland at home to Copenhagen. I mean, he could go absolutely ballistic in that fixture. Lewandowski, maybe not so much. He is facing Inter Milan, but I could see him scoring a goal or two. It's just that his ceiling might not be as high as the other two, especially Haaland. And Mbappe's facing Benfica. So this is a bit different because in Matchday 2, I would have favoured the likes of Messi even, but even more so Neymar on top of Mbappe because of the fixture they had. And Benfica isn't as easy. So I would only go for 1 PSG attacker and probably only 2 players across your whole team. And I think Mbappe and Hakimi is a really good place to start, with Mbappe obviously being the clear standout there. And I think this is a really good team overall. When you look at the captaincy, things do get very tricky. I mean, who do you captain with, you know, everything that's happened in the last few weeks, the form of certain players, new players now coming to the fore once again. But if we look at the dates, on the 4th of October, it has to be probably one of Salah, Sané, or Lewandowski for the captaincy. I know Heung-min Son's been the most informed player at the moment, but I probably would still favour one of the other 3. And honestly, I think I would go for Leroy Sané. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I said this last time as well, and I actually ended up making a late switch from Sané to Son for the captaincy. That backfired, to be fair. And I didn't suffer too much because of Mbappe the following day, and a bit of luck with the kind of ridiculous man of the match award he earned. But Leroy Sané is so good, and he did it against Barcelona. He can definitely do it against Pilsen, and he's a fantastic option. Just ignore the price for a bit and just look at what he's done over the last year or so in the Champions League. Then on the 5th, it probably gets a bit trickier as well. You've got Mbappe, Haaland, and De Bruyne. I would probably go for one of the City boys, and it probably would be Erling Haaland. So Sané and Haaland would be my captains, just like it would be in the wildcard team, which I also talk about in the team selection video. So be sure to check out the best wildcard team, as well as the team selection video and the chip strategy. All of that will set you up very well for Matchday 3 and beyond. And be sure to tune in for the deadline stream that will be coming up on the Tuesday. As always, it's great to see so many of you interacting in those streams recently. It means a lot, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. And as you can see, I would be 25.6 million over budget if I didn't play the Limitless with this team. Of course, I've already played it in Matchday 2. I will probably be playing the wildcard in Matchday 3. If not, it will be using normal transfers. So those of you that haven't used the Limitless yet, heavily consider using it this week because the fixtures are there and you've got a good balance between Tuesday and Wednesday and things are looking really good and you could have a fantastic week. I'm talking about more than 100 points in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on this Limitless team and what you would change. I think Hakimi is the one I look at and I think he's the weakest link, so to speak. But the rest, I have to say, is fairly locked in. And I would put this team and I would definitely Limitless to this if I were activating the chip this week. But thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. Let's get this video to over 300 likes and let's get to 15,000 subscribers. We're very close to that milestone, so thank you very much. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, where we also are looking to reach new goals as well. And you can also check the links in the description below, including the Patreon, the channel memberships, and also the UCL Fantasy League and Discord server. So all of that good stuff is there. I wish you all the best of luck for Matchday 3 and the rest of the season, and I'll see you next time.